All right. Good morning, everybody. I just took off my winter hat, so my hair is like everywhere. That's cool. We're gonna just roll with it. Good morning. So today is our Wellness Wednesday chat. I am really excited to be offering these on Wednesday mornings. As a way to come in and give you guys some free education, some free support here in this group. This is what I do with my clients on a regular basis in our coaching calls, and I just love to be able to do this for you guys and support you with these different topics that I know are really challenging, specifically for us as moms who are raising kids with extra needs. And so today's topic is I cannot afford to be healthy. I've heard this a lot from different moms, and maybe you are a mom right now who is feeling the struggle of not taking care of your body. This comes out in a lot of different ways, like feeling low energy, having cravings all the time, feeling exhausted, having a bad mood, not enough patience when you're dealing with your kids, um, depression, and just sort of feeling stuck, like you are not actually being cared for. This is a sign that something is off with your health. We're not meant to live in that place, and it can truly be better. For some of us, this comes out with like weight gain through emotional eating or just not moving your body enough. And it really is frustrating when you feel that and you want to change that, and you want to get out of that, but you feel stuck because this barrier, maybe money, maybe you're telling yourself, well, I cannot afford this because it's not accessible. And so what we're going to talk about today, if that's you, if you are feeling like I want to make changes but I can't afford it right now, we're going to talk about some of that because that's something that I've dealt with a lot personally and have helped moms through. And I've got some great perspective to share with you, some tips and some strategies that you can use to help make decisions really well so that you know that you are honoring your financial needs but also honoring your needs as a mom, because those are real. Your health is, in my opinion, not optional. And then hopefully you'll walk out of here feeling more empowered and having some ideas about what you can do moving forward to help you out. And so let's just jump right in. I'm getting a sign here on my live video. Let me just see what's going on. Yeah, so if you're here, if you're watching live, say hello. You can definitely ask questions here. I'll be watching the chat if you want to. And we can jump right in. So yeah, so let's talk about money. And before we start this, I want to um, just say that if you are a mom who is in a place where you are very much going under financially, this is tough. This is tough. And so, some of what I'm going to share today are strategies for those of us who are not like running at zero and not wondering where money is going to come from to buy diapers or, buy groceries that week. I know that there are seasons for some moms that I've talked to that it is just truly, with COVID, with job loss, with all of that, sometimes there literally is zero. So I just want to honor you if you are in that place, and um, you will hopefully find some nuggets in here that you can take away to just try to keep yourself healthy in the midst of all of that. But there are seasons, where we're in survival mode. If we think of like this hierarchy of needs, right, where it's just, I just have to be able to pay for my house. So if that's you, give yourself permission just to get up to where you need to be before you maybe apply some of this. Okay, but for the rest of us, let's jump right in. So I want you to know, first of all, that this is a topic that is very personal to me. I'm sharing this one because I come from a family that did not have money growing up. And so we all bring into our life what we call a money story. It's how we were taught about money. It was how our parents talked about money as we were growing up. Like, were we always told that things were too expensive, or, oh, yeah, it's fine, just go ahead and buy that? We all have this different perspective around money that we bring to the table. So, my perspective around money, and you're probably here because you have a similar perspective around money, was like, we ain't got any extra money, so you don't buy anything unless you absolutely have to have that thing. And so if you came from a family that was like that, you probably are that person who, when it comes to buying things for you, you have like a hard pause, like, well, I probably shouldn't do that. That's selfish. Like, do I really need this, or do I want this? And you kind of have that internal struggle. And this is me. I have always been this way. Um, and worked through a lot of this, and have been a very hard worker, and got to a good place. And then my son was born uh, with Down syndrome, tons of medical needs. I ended up having to leave my job. We moved, we were living overseas, teaching. We were very comfortable financially and had all of just we were set up really well, and it just flipped upside down. We had to travel back to the States a couple of times. We didn't have health insurance, medical bills upon medical bills, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars trying to get treatment for my son. Got back here, had to buy a house, had to buy cars, had to start from zero, and literally it was like all of this hard work, and we got set back to like square one. And then again, I was thrust personally into this place of like, we don't have money. We don't have money, any extra money. We've got to pay for medical bills, we have to pay for therapy. It was just a mess. And so I had to work through all of this, and I share very openly my story with you guys because I want to be real with you and authentic always. And I got to this point where I was very unhealthy. For me, I was not eating well. I was eating fast food all the time. I was not taking care of myself, not resting. I was skipping meals a lot, and then just going hard into junk food mode. And I knew that I needed to make some changes, and become well as a mom, because I wasn't showing up as my best. And so when it came time for me to do this, guess what I said to myself at the beginning was, well, we don't have money for this. We don't have money for this. I started looking into what are some different ways that I can get help, and found some help and a coach that was willing to help me. And my very first reaction was like, well, I can't afford that. There's no way. And it took me a little while to pivot. And I've always worked in health and understood the value of this, but I had to work through some of these blocks of um, actually investing in myself and my health. And so the very first thing that I had to realize, um, and come to grips with, I would say, is that when it comes to our health, this is not what we would consider financially an expense. It is instead an investment. I want you to think about that for a second, because when we are thinking about shopping for ourselves, if it is, um, makeup, or if it's clothes or shoes, sometimes that is like truly functional stuff that we just absolutely have to have. But sometimes we're just, these are expenses. These are things that we are just buying. But when it comes to your health and buying things like exercise equipment so that you can do things at home, or investing in healthier food, or if you need supplements, or if it is a coach because you need accountability and support, or you need a program because you've got this problem and you don't know how to fix it, and you need an expert to tell you what to do. Um, we financially don't need to think about that as an expense, because this is actually an investment. And when we think about the difference there, when we're investing in something, this is going to have a direct impact on our future, right? So I needed to get out of my head that I'm just spending money on this expense, and think of it then as an investment in my future, because how I show up as a mom, how long I'm going to be around as a mom, how well I'm able to like support my kids and relate with my kids. Because for me, I was a monster. I had no patience. I was grumpy. I was exhausted, and I wanted my future to be different. Does that make sense? And so putting that money into me was investing in that future. And thinking about this in terms of our kids, it totally makes sense, right? Because if my son is sick or my son has something medically that is off right now, like I will do anything at all to figure out how to pay for that because I know that that is going to directly affect his future. Case in point, we have just had to start doing growth hormone injections. Insurance denied this. It is unbelievably costly to just do that. However, he's tracking to be, functioning. I don't want to say non-functioning, but just way, way below. I think he's tracking to be like 4.8 right now. And so we had to think through this and say, okay, well, this is an investment in his future and how he's going to be able to access the world in the future and what's going to be available to him. And so this was a no-brainer because we see the correlation. And I was thinking about this the other day because we just started this a couple weeks ago, and that's what made me think about this topic for you guys because it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same for us. When we invest in our health, whether it's better food, whether it's, being able to have support so we can exercise and improve our health, even just health as in going to the doctor, going to the gynecologist, all of this is an investment so that 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road, you are not having to rely on diabetes, insulin injections. You're not having to rely on blood pressure medication. You're not, dealing with back pain and knee pain and crippling injuries that come when your body is not strong. Osteoporosis is another one. Heart disease, cancers. We know that so much of this comes directly from lifestyle. So it's not an issue of just splurging on yourself financially and putting this unnecessary expense in your budget each month or for a season. It is investing. I hope this is resonating with you because this was the number one shift that I had to make. And so I did. And the very first time that for me, invested in getting the help of a coach, and it started with supplements, and then it ended up moving into just more, more and more. The very first time that I put money into myself was the hardest, and then it started getting easier because once you start to see how positively that affects you, it is amazing. And I was just talking to one of my clients about this yesterday. We were on a coaching call, and she's in the same place, like very, very frugal, needing to watch and budget everything. And she had invested in working with me and putting her health first because she realized that she was on a bad path. And she told me, she's like, this has been one of the greatest things that I've ever done. I just didn't realize how much better I would feel, and what a difference this would make in my job and my relationship with my kids and my relationship with my husband. And I have clients that come back all the time too that are like, I actually ended up saving money this way because my cravings were starting to go away. And so um, maybe you're somebody who likes to, if you're getting a craving, like swing through Starbucks, this was me, or swing through somewhere and get a milkshake, or you get cravings and you like go and buy candy. It feels like a small thing, but if that's something that you are doing every single day as a result of your blood sugar being out of whack or your energy levels being off, that's money that you're putting into um, these habits that can and will go away when you get your health in order. So it's almost this financial trade out, right? I had a client who told me one time that she had been leaning so hard into like fast foods and eating at restaurants because her stress levels were really high, and she wanted to make food and be better, um, at that, but she felt like she couldn't afford it. And she finally found like a meal prep service that had really good foods. And she was like, I don't know if I can actually afford this. But she did it because she knew that that was important to her. And after, I think it was like 2 months, she was looking back over her finances and looking at her food spending overall. And she was like, Megan, I actually saved money by investing in this health food company, because when I did that, it shifted her spending away from restaurants and away from going out to get ice cream and going away from buying extra bottles of wine all the time, because she got to the end of her week and was just an emotional mess because she had taken that time to fuel her body well and was working with me and coaching. um, and so it will play out that way often for you. I'm giving you those examples just so you can see some ways that you do that. And so it gets easier. It gets easier as you feel better, as you see those investments pay off. And I would also encourage you, if you are thinking about putting money into your health. We're coming up into this season where everybody's going to start doing this. If you feel like there's not money, take some time and get really curious about what are the things realistically that I'm spending money on throughout my week that are maybe extras, that are not serving me, not serving my health, that I could possibly do a replacement. This is a strategy that I have used with people for years and years and years when I was in the gym doing personal training, and people would come and say, well, I can't afford personal training, once they looked at the packages. We would take some time and I would ask them, okay, well, let's see, how often are you going out to restaurants? Or how often, or how much are you spending on alcohol each month? Or how much are you spending on coffee each month, or sodas? Or, fill in the gap with any extra spending. It could have been, this was back in the day, going out to movies, or something that is an extra. And what would it look like for your health to funnel that money into your health, even if it's just for a season? Like, what if you stopped going and getting coffee and put that money over here instead? What if you stopped eating at a restaurant one night a week, um, and put that money into your health? Because it there's often money that we can move around that way if we're really honest. If we're really honest. Um, and so I want to acknowledge that sometimes there's some self-sabotaging that happens where you will use, I don't want to call it an excuse, because again, I honor if you are truly in a place where you don't have extra money, but we can use that as a reason why this is not accessible for us right now, when, if we're really honest, there is that money that we can funnel from something else. And the hard part is actually being willing to make that change. It's being willing to say, okay, this just got real. Like, I'm actually going to stop, buying cookies and buying all of that, and working hard on this. It's scary. I get it. It's super scary. But what is the trade off, and what is the benefit that you're going to get? Because I see the other side. I get to see the other side of this all the time, and it is incredible. It is moms who are feeling better. It is moms who are fitting in their clothes better. It is moms who feel like themselves again for the first time in decades. Moms who are able to get out and run around and play with their kids and not feel exhausted at the end of the day. Like, I see that other side, and it's amazing. So, the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys today is, just practically, when it comes to being healthy on a budget, there's some really important things that you need to think through. Once we have shifted the perspective about understanding that this is an investment, we can still be really smart about how we spend our money. So, the first thing I want to talk about is healthy food. If you struggle with the fact that healthier food is more expensive, sometimes it is. if you're buying organic, if you're buying fresh versus maybe frozen and packaged food. However, you can be really smart about how you do this. So when you're making your own meals, meats are typically going to be the most expensive things that you buy. So getting really creative about how you create meals and how you spend money, um, it doesn't always have to be really expensive. And research shows that people who do just um, spend money on healthier foods and healthier options will, like I said, save money over the long term because maybe they're not eating as much or they're not getting those cravings that are causing them to go out. So, in our family, when we are trying to cut back on expenses, we lean pretty heavily into things like beans versus meat. Um, you can make dishes with lentils or chickpeas or beans or chilies, stir fries with things like tofu, and this is going to significantly cut back on your weekly budget for food if you pull some of that meat out of there. Um, Another thing that you can do is watch for things on sale. We use Costco and we watch for things on sale, and we will buy in bulk the healthy food, and often put things in the freezer. And there's a great um, oh gosh, what is it's the family freezer. I'm sharing this with you because this is something that I found that is awesome, and if you've never heard of them, I don't get any money for sending you over there. But the family freezer, she does freezer meals where you can prep a bunch of meat like chicken or beef or anything in freezer bags, so that if you find a sale on meat or something that you want to prep ahead of time, she teaches you how to get all of that into the freezer bags, and she has recipes and stuff that are awesome. The family freezer. So we can get really creative about how we can make money and save money by making meals at home and eating healthy. But then on the other side, there's fitness. And this is one that I'm really passionate about because I've worked in fitness for a long time. And I hate it. Like, I truly hate it when I see people spend money on fitness programs and then do nothing. Like, I'm not cool with that. Number one, because I hate wasting money. Like, that makes me sick to my stomach. Like, people who buy fitness exercise equipment and then never use it, or they sign up for that year gym membership and go one time. I hate that stuff to my core. And what I hate more than anything are the gyms that like rely on this business model, like the $10 gyms. They basically expect for people to sign up for that and never show up. It is part of their business model. And I hate that. And like when I came online and started working here in this space, I had somebody say to me, like, well, if you just do your workouts, it's fine. Just charge a little bit and people will sign up. And they may or may not ever do anything and get results. But that's fine because they'll still invest in it. And I was like, no, like, I'm not going to be that business. There's no way I'm going to be that business. And so finding what if you're going to invest, let me pause. If you're going to invest into fitness, finding something that has all of the pieces that are going to guarantee that you're actually going to use that and get your benefit out of that investment. Does that make sense? Because sometimes there may be a couple of different programs that are available, and one of them may be more expensive and it may have more support built in, or it may be like where you're going to have a personal trainer or a coach or somebody that is supporting you there, or there is the lower budget option where you are then relying on you showing up and just doing this on your own, and it's way cheaper to go this route than to invest into a program or something that's going to give you support. But the likelihood of you investing into that smaller, like cheaper program and then actually not doing anything is incredibly high versus putting maybe a little bit more money into having a trainer or a coach or a program that's going to give you accountability, where you will actually do it because you've got the support that you need to show up and get it done. where you're going to get your money out of that investment. And so I want you to think through that, because right now, like, we're coming into this season where, the holidays hit and then we all set these New Year's goals. And at some point, you may be choosing, okay, what am I going to do? I want to start to get healthier now. I want to find maybe an exercise program or a nutrition program or something that I want to do. And if you are a person like me who has that money story, that money block of, well, I just need to find the cheapest one possible, the likelihood of you investing in that cheap option and doing nothing and not reaching your goals is very high. So when we know that this is an investment, when we know that this is going to impact us in the future, and we know that we will be more likely to do this with accountability and support, yes, it may cost more money up front, but if you can funnel money from something else and put it into that so that you have a program that you're actually going to do, that is where you're going to see the return on investment, right? And so it feels scary to put money into that if you've only ever put money into like the cheaper programs, because you probably never showed up to that, right? Maybe you bought the gym membership, maybe you bought the treadmill, maybe you bought fill in the blank, the Beachbody subscription, and you have never done it. That feels like a wasted investment. And so thinking about investing in something more is scary because you didn't see a return on investment for that last one. So finding accountability and finding support that's going to keep you on track within that investment is 100% worth it. And that's what I do. That's what I do, because that is what worked for me. That is what I have seen that works for everybody, and that's what I love doing with other moms is using all of the training that I have as a health coach, as a behavior change coach, a fitness nutritionist, and a personal trainer to create programs for moms that are doable in the busyness of their life, and layering that support and accountability in through coaching, through weekly check-ins, through accountability, so that it's an investment that you can feel 100% confident that you will actually show up and get this done. Doesn't mean that you're going to be 100% all the time, but at least you have somebody who is there so you can say, like, hey, I'm stuck, I'm struggling here, what do I do? And have that support. And it's awesome because within my programs, the success rate, like, I talk about this all the time with my colleagues, because I like 80 to 90% of the moms that come through my program like actually do it. They actually do it. And it's amazing. It's amazing to see that type of result. Whereas if you go to a gym or you go on to Beachbody, like, how many people are subscribed and actually using it is usually like 10 to 20%. 10 to 20% of people that pay for that are actually showing up and using it. That's crazy. That's crazy. So that 80-90% that my programs hang out on, I talk about that all the time because I want you guys to feel really, really confident that, if what I offer is the right fit for you, you are going to see that return on investment 100%. It is so great. So hopefully this has been helpful in helping you shift away from believing that putting money into your health is selfish, that it's an expense that you should probably not do, that you need to feel bad about that, or you're talking yourself out of this because you don't have money, you can't afford this, and you've seen some ways that doing this now is going to help you save money financially in the future, to show up better as a mom, so that what you're investing in is your future, your livelihood with your kids. There are ways that you can funnel money from other things that are taking money, that are bad habits, that are not serving your health and your wellness. Funnel that into your health. Choosing foods, looking at ways that you can have recipes that are more plant-based, that don't pull a lot of money from the meat industry. And finally, choosing programs that are going to get you that return on investment because you have accountability, you have support, and you have something that is actually proven to help. This is how we do it. This is how we can balance money with our health. So, if you are watching this, if you are curious about what is it that I do, I have a few different programs that I offer where I have recipes. The very first that I do is I create recipe packs each month that are healthy, nourishing meals that you can make at home for your entire family. We look at a lot of plant-based, really, really nutrient-dense foods so that you are getting a ton of bang for your buck when you buy this produce, you make these meals, it gives you so much energy. It's so great. So I have recipe packs if that is something that you need. If you want to leave, the restaurant world and all of that fast food, like that adds up financially and move more into meal prep and home cooked meals, this is what I do. This is what's in these recipe packs. So I have a subscription there. And if you join my workout program, the 20-minute boost workout program, this is a program where I am giving accountability and support. You can kind of choose how much accountability and support you want based on what you need and your budget, but we do 20-minute workouts every day. I'm checking in with you through one-on-one check-ins, through coaching calls where you can come and get support so you're never on your own. And then through the Mom Restore system, my final program, that is where holistically I support moms on losing weight, having better energy, managing stress, and doing like this holistic change for your health. So if you need support with any of that, if you are thinking about making an investment and making some changes for your health, I would absolutely love to talk to you about this. I work with special needs moms because I know that the challenges that we have are unique, and a lot of people out there just do not understand how much extra load is on us, and finding something that is doable for you is the most important thing, and that's why I've created my programs. So what I'm going to do right now is just pop a link into the comments here where if you want to chat, there's a couple ways that you can get in touch with me. First and foremost, you can leave a comment here or send me a direct message on Facebook. I love to chat on Facebook. It's easy, it's quick, and we can just talk about what's going on with you, and if you are dealing with some of these money blocks, how we can maybe get creative about making this work for you. Or you can book a call. I do these calls for free. These are called a Healthy Mom Breakthrough Call, and it is my chance to talk to you about what's going on in depth, identify what your big struggles are, what's not working for you, and get real about what kind of support you need to move forward into that future of being a healthy mom. And we'll talk there about whether or not any of my programs would be a good fit for you. So that's there, you guys. Thank you for taking the time to be here. If you're watching this live or on the replay, it is never a bad idea to invest in your health. I am a testament to that and all the changes that I've seen through my clients, and I would love to help you with that too. So go be healthy, have a fantastic day, and I will chat with you guys soon.